So, bear with me. This is Singular by Matheus H. Macedo, and I apologize if I've got your name wrong. The music starts before the studio logo even fades in, upbeat and electronic. Why mince words? It's Sophie So Far by Goodnight Radio. A single S-light suck the back screen, neon pink. The rest of the letters spark on, Singular. We think it's just our title, but in fact, exterior bar roof night. It's the name of the bar. We drift down from the shimmering glass letters to the door just beneath. People mostly in their 30s pour in and out. Some stay outside smoking on the rain-wet cement. This one guy wanders in. We follow him into the bar. It's a lively night. We can hardly focus on any specific person or group, but it's okay, just getting the lay of the land. We float in observing. The young man and girl at the dartboard, so we'll get to know them later. Another woman comes in, she meets a man, tries to shake his hand and wants a hug instead. A first date, no mistaking it. We follow as they move to two open stools at the bar. Beside them, two more women we'll meet soon. Drifting with the bartender past the extras, we make our way to the MC, who you'll mistake for a DJ at first. Finally, we move on to the booths right across the bar. As we near our first players, the song fades just enough for us to hear.
Sex? You're not interested in sex?
Tom, 31, dressed to impress, seems confused.
I mean...
At all. You're not interested in sex at all.
Across from Adam, 31, stocky, dug around for his good shirt tonight. Shirt's at least 3 years old.
Not exactly what I said.
So, Tom and Adam.
Okay. Sorry. Right, but explain it again. You see a girl, she clearly wants you, and...
And if she's a stranger, and if I know all she wants to do is, you know...
Fuck, shag, bone, boink.
Then I'm just not into it. Maybe it's my Christian upbringing.
Well, no, because we know you didn't wait for marriage. You were having straight sex. Oh, you were having sex straight out of high school.
In high school. At the high school a few times. But only with son, who I was in love with, so.
Yeah. So you want to meet someone real, not just a hookup. Not exactly original, but sentimental is appreciated. You're like a gentleman, like on Mad Men.
Those guys were all dicks. I'm not looking to meet the woman I'm going to marry, but is it too much to ask that I actually like the girl I'm with?
Should have known you weren't looking to get laid wearing that shirt. Why were you even here then? This drink cost $11.
Adam looks down at his shirt, a little insulted.
Because I like the bingo here.
Bingo. That's not even trivia.
No, it's music bingo. They play a song and you have to...
Oh, who gives a knock? $11. Where do they get the nerve?
You're right. Sorry I made you come out.
No, it's fine. I needed it too. I'm finally feeling ready to get back out there again. I just don't know why you wanted to come out.
I just wanted to be around people. There's this thing people don't know about being single for a long time. It's kind of lonely.
I think I read that.
Everyone associates singleness with loneliness, but they're talking about, oh, I wish I had someone to watch this TV show with. And yeah, that's part of it. But there's another level, like serious singleness, where it's become your life. To think about living with any other way feels alien.
You don't think you're being just a tad bit dramatic?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Adam drinks.
I don't mean this to be dismissive, but if you're really that lonely, why not try? Ask someone else, start a conversation at least. Why is that so ridiculous?
Maybe it's not for you.
So what's wrong with you?
I'm fat. I can't trust anyone. I'm afraid of what will happen if it works out. I'm afraid of what happens if it doesn't, and so on and so on.
Sounds like your issue's got way deeper than finding the right girl.
And Frank said all you need to be happy is to see the sky.
Okay, so you don't need a girl.
I don't know. Sky's just not doing it for me lately.
You're contradicting yourself. If you're so gross and all that, how are you rejecting advances from women you don't like enough to go to bed with?
It's only happened a couple of times, and they were pretty drunk and out of other options by then.
You're cherry picking what you want to believe. You've accomplished so much cool shit. Everyone always wants to hang with you. How can you believe all that shit about yourself?
Remember where it all started, and there's just never been a reason to think otherwise.
That was 10 years ago. It was one girl.
Adam shrugs. It is what it is. He downs his drink. Super, Suzanne and Trill, interior bar at the bar night. Suzanne, 30, almost drunk, came straight from work clothes, stands with Trill, 33, outfit, makeup on point.
The worst part is, you know how much I hate being a cliche. Look at me. Everything about me is cliche, from my warped ass heels to my 3-day-old blowout. The words I'm speaking right now are cliche. The cat at my apartment, the comforter from IKEA I can't wait to crawl under tonight. And now I'm at a bar talking about the single life. Trill, you're the most unique human I've ever met. Save me. You're my only hope.
You're way too hard on yourself.
I'm not, I swear. I'm exactly what movies and TV say I'm supposed to be.
Who in the fuck said that's a good thing?
What else is there? Who am I supposed to emulate?
No one. There's only one of you. There's only one lifetime you'll ever belong to. If you can't find it in yourself to just sit back and enjoy your existence.
My existence is pathetic. I go to work and go home. If there's nothing to watch on Netflix, I literally don't know what to do with myself. Sometimes I stand in my room, waiting to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing for like a full minute, just fucking standing there. What the fuck is that?
Have you asked yourself what you want?
That's all I think about.
And
I want to go back to being young, hang with my friends and sneak into the woods, have bonfires, drive around all night. I don't want to do this. My life's ending one day. My life's ending one day at a time, and I'm not even living it. I'm sitting at my desk accumulating enough hours to get paid enough to survive and get health insurance, and holy shit, I'm boring myself. I can't even complain about it. I've already heard it all before because I'm a fucking cliche.
Trill is making sexy eyes at punk rock lady across the bar.
You're not listening. It's fine. I'm fine. Another?
I'm listening. I just don't know how to help. You're amazing. You just don't see it.
How does one see it in themselves?
I think you have to figure that out for yourself.
How did you figure it out?
Trill looks off for a second.
What's to figure out? I'm fucking awesome.
It's true. You are.
Suzanne drinks a long pull.
Looking to get messed up tonight, Susie Q.
Maybe. What's it to you?
Hey, I'm here for it. But if you do, I want to stay relatively aware of my surroundings.
Fuck our surroundings. Let's do shots.
Suzanne downs her drink, black, super, Sun and Dan at the dartboard. Dan, 29, t-shirt and jeans, throws a dart.
Too many characters. How the hell am I supposed to follow what's going on?
Sun, 31, her outfit is what the high cut full collection says it should be. How many people do you know in real life?
Including you.
Dan hands her the darts. Do you know me? Yes, including me, you donut. She concentrates, throws her dart. It bounces off the wall 2 feet from the board. Nuts.
A bunch.
There you go.
So I'm supposed to remember everybody in my world and a fictional world too. Give me 3 friends at the studio built set who pretend to hang out at coffee shops every day, and I'm good.
1994 Mrs. You.
No, I mean, really. Look around this place.
He looks out over the bar. She begrudgingly does the same.
Look at the groups. 2 people there, 3 there, 2 there. They're all 2s and 3s. And that's pretty much all you need to know. Why?
She watches him, unimpressed but waiting.
Because they're all talking about the same fucking thing. Work sucked, politicians suck. I'm sad, I'm lonely.
And you're Mr. Original Conversation.
Fuck no. I'm just as pathetic as any of them. We're all exactly the same. That's my point.
We are not. We might have similar problems, but we deal with them in our own ways. We have our own experiences.
No one ever sees themselves for what they are.
Which is, he aims the dart.
The same as everyone else.
Bullseye. Son turns around again. Yeah, well, I see individuals. I see real people. She takes a sip from a cup. Her eyes grow wide. Crunch. She bit the glass. She ducks under a table and spits the shard back into the cup. Dan meanders towards her, looks down like, that guy at the booth. She's looking at Adam.
Yeah.
He was the first guy I ever loved.
Oh. You should go say hi.
I cheated on him. Well, that's it. Sorry, my pages are all mixed up. Okay, there we are. I'm just trying to sort out my pages. Emma, thoughts?
Yes. First of all, I've got a question. What does super mean in this instance?
Well, I think it's supposed to mean superimposed, isn't it?
Oh, okay.
As
All
a
right then.
title.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure. Okay, lovely. Thank you. I thought it's, there's some nice stuff. It comes off the page, readably, doesn't it? I don't think we were too much stumbling with it, but I did think it was perhaps rather leisurely as a starter, bearing in mind what we were saying a couple of weeks ago when I was last here about, the first page has to really, sort of engage us. And there are 3 different conversations. And I think of them, the first one is perhaps to me the least, interesting. Then the second one sort of picks up a bit. And then the third one, I suppose, because we get that connection between Son and Adam, that it becomes more interesting. And I thought maybe we need something different to hook us. I mean, obviously, I don't know the rest of it, but, it's this thing about why are we telling this story and why are we telling this story now? And why are they having this conversation? And I just wondered, could there be a cut between these conversations? Could we back and forth? Would that help give it some texture and variety? It gets a bit meta at one point, which is interesting when, who is it? One of the chaps says, too many people, too many characters, I can't follow. And you think, are they sort of almost talking about this story? It's hard to tell, but that seemed interesting, but I'm not sure if that was intended. But yeah, I just think maybe people having a chat without having any particular apparent objectives perhaps isn't the most, I'm not saying, have a car smash through a plate glass window or anything, but just something that maybe kind of hooks or intrigues us to begin with. Would be nice.
Yeah. Erin.
I agree with a lot of what Emma just said, all of it, but I think if it's a one location thing, I wonder, it had like the way that it was going, it kind of, I know it's supposed to be a film, but I wonder, it's one of those things that seems like it also could maybe start as a play too. If it's like one location. And I do agree with the cutting back and forth, maybe making the vignettes a little bit shorter and then going back and forth might like hook the audience a little bit. And I noticed that too with the comment about too many characters. I wondered if it was just supposed to be kind of ironic, like that was part of, the point. Because it's funny. I think it's interesting. I think all the characters seem like interesting. And I mean, you never know what could happen with this. And by page 12, they could all turn into zombies. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Right. But it kind of has that vibe, like, you know, when they talk about the sitcom Seinfeld, how it was sort of like meant to be about nothing, but like just everyday life. I kind of feel like this is the point. The point is that, you know,
I know what you
nothing,
mean.
maybe nothing's supposed to be really like, it's kind of the irony of it, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I got. I'm
Cool.
interested. I think it would be interesting to see it cut back and forth and what happens.
Cool, thank you. John?
You're
Can't
muted,
hear
darling.
you.
You're muted.
Sorry, there was just been a car go past and he's really loud. Yeah, pretty much what the other guys have said. That first page, to be honest with you, really got to me. You don't need all that on the first page. You know, most of that is director's choice. You know, you don't need to write every single line of description. It's not necessary. I did love the kind of humor in the last pair, especially when he's like, look, they're all in 2s and 3s and all the vignettes are in 2s. So, yeah, I kind of like that little bit of humor in there. I think I'd like to see where this is going, but, you know, I'm not 100% hooked. So I kind of, how can I put it? Adam was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you went, oh, I'm fat and I kind of live on my own, I was like, yep, that's me.
Or
Willow, though, you've got a cat.
I've got 2 cats.
Two
I'll have you
cats?
know
What were
that.
you
There
moaning
you go.
about
There's
then?
3 of you.
Yeah.
But I'm dominated. There's 2 of them and 1 of me.
Catherine.
Big just wandered in as well.
Yeah, predominantly agree with the majority of the comments. Again, my usual context, etc. We found out we were probably American halfway through reading it. Needed to know that first. One thing I found it a little the way the format at the beginning especially was rather novelesque. It was a bit too, here's my book, here's the story, this is what I want to happen, and it was a bit too well, it wasn't script format really, just like John was saying. They're in a loud club, so shouting possibly, that needs to be thought about with regards to the scenes. I mean, are they in where it's noisy, or are they somewhere where it's quiet and we can all hear them, or are they shouting at each other, or they can't hear what each other's saying, that kind of thing? That would have been useful. I mean, reading something as I usually am as a cold read, it's heavily influenced by basic details. Where are they? When are they? Who are they? Basic character notes will denote how it's written and how the intonations are done, etc., etc. On just even from a cold read. Other than that, I was interested to find out what happens. Are they all going to interact with each other, or what? I think Emma's definitely got hit on a nail on the head. It would be much more interested in if they interjected in between sentences here and there, and there's some comedy with that, because you could possibly go on the other person's thing, even though it's juxtapositioning, if that makes sense. But dialogue wise, I found the characters all very similar. They weren't very well defined at all. They all sounded exactly the same to me. But I interested to hear, you know, it's only the first 10 pages, but interested to see what happens next. And I did wonder about that whole, is this a fourth wall breakage with the third conversation? That could have been quite a clever little note, but I don't know if that's actually what's happening. So I'd be interested to see what happens, but I think the characters dialogue wise need more definition, but it's interesting. So yeah.
Thank you. Simon, would you like to make any comments, or are you?
I mean, I found it quite, I felt like you guys really brought it off the page well, and I think that is not only a credit to the performers, but also to the writing. So from a screenwriter's perspective, you know, it didn't seem like the flow jarred for any of you at any point. I think I kind of agree a bit in that there wasn't that much definition in character. So each character, there wasn't anything particular about each of them that kind of differentiated between the others. But I think that, you know, we've only read a few pages, so I think that's obviously likely to develop as we get through. I quite liked the opening that you read, Angela, particularly the bits where it said like, oh, there's this person and this person in the corner. We'll get to them in a bit. And
I didn't mind that. Yeah,
I liked that. That was like, oh, you know, something's going to happen with them. I wonder what that's going to be. And I do get the sense that later on, all the different kind of relationships they're gonna start mixing up, and they're gonna start meeting, and they're so I don't know. Yeah, I'm intrigued. But my main point is I just think that you guys brought it off the page really well, and I think that's a credit to you and the screenwriter.
Brilliant, thank you.
Oh, that's all down to Catherine. Because we know Catherine's the best actor.
There you
Stuart
go.
said so.
Well, it's true, but I'm kidding.
You're a good cold reader, though. That was good for a cold
It
read.
is a cold read, yes. That's the other thing to remember. These are cold reads. I agree about the first page, actually, although I was a bit twitchy about the formatting in places. And the first page needed, you know, it needs more caps. You know, the bartender woman, she meets the man, we follow, you know, all those things need to be in caps, but that's a minor thing, really. What I thought was a shame was that promise of the first page, which has got some, as you pointed out, Simon, some nice little, you know, phrases that makes you think, oh, this is going to be an interesting read, then didn't carry through for the rest of the script, because it was the majority. It could have been radio for the rest of the script, which is a shame, because you've got, as I can't remember who pointed out, you're in a bar, noisy bar, and there's a lot that could be happening. And actually, bizarrely, I watched a Jonathan Creep last night, which is a terrible admission, and I think it was about probably the first one, and they were in a bar and they were having a conversation at the bar, and it was noisy, and they couldn't hear each other, and they were doing it as you would, shouting like crazy, and then it suddenly falls silent, and you're the voice that's, you know, everybody hears. So that would have just maybe enlivened it. And I agree about intercutting the three little vignettes, you know, intercut them, and maybe that would just make it. Otherwise, I did at one point put a note on it, like, too much, you know, it's like there's too much conversation going on, as it were. But maybe that's just me. Yeah, it would be nice to know where it was going.
Actually, and another thing they did, it would have been quite nice, forgive me if they did actually, no, I haven't got the screen, I've closed down the script now, but it might have been nice if all the characters were actually in that travel of the camera. So you see them in the background, you don't know you're supposed to notice them, sort of thing. So that would have been a nice opening.
That would have been a way around it, because if those are the people that were introed on that first page, then you have to identify who those people are, and then say, okay, we'll get to those later. But then when you see them later, you kind of, that thing in your brain goes, oh, and
you notice you've noticed it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So I tend to think that this was possibly a series. It doesn't kind of read as a film.
I don't know, visually, I think it's the formatting that's putting us off, to be honest. Visually, I think it's quite good, but it needs to be written in script format more specifically, and then it'll be easier for people reading scripts to know what they're supposed to do.
True.
But I think it's a good start.
Brilliant.